One of the best parts of Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet were the characters, especially the ones in the main game. Arven, Nemona, Penny, Clavel, Clyde, and more had a wonderful showing in the Gen 9 games. Not that I didn't like the ones from the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero like Kieran and Carmine, I absolutely did, but others like Briar had a less interesting development. She felt a little more rushed, like the whole Underdepths part, but in her case, it might have just been because of a huge missed opportunity. So hey, I'm Not So Ace Trainer, and what about Briar? Let's get into it. Before we begin, I want to thank my YouTube member Dash Plays and my Twitch subscribers Anubis here, Redsamnegi, Zanes222, Nightshades, and Lazarix. Thank you so much for going the extra mile and helping make my content possible. And now, onto the video. Briar was introduced to us as the descendant of Heath, the writer of the Scarlet or Violet books, depending on your version of the game. These books were the driving force behind the plot of the main game and DLC, as they were the guide that Arven used on his quest and that eventually led us down the mesmerizing Great Crater of Paldea. And it was also what ended up connecting us to Briar and the final part of the game in the Underdepths. Despite this, it felt like something was missing. Like you liking and subscribing, make sure you didn't forget about that. Yes, the books kinda connect everything, and even if loosely, they ended up being the glue for many different characters, and they kinda also explain Briar's presence and her goals, but considering the power of Terra Energy and what it can do, I don't know, I feel like she needed something extra. I have always said that I really loved the story of Scarlet and Violet, but I didn't really feel that big of a connection with the ending sequence. I knew we were going back to the crater, and I knew that Briar had something to do with it, but it felt too rushed. Not just because that part is like 30 minutes of gameplay and they didn't even let us go down the crater together like we did with Arven, Penny, and Nemona. They just teleported us to the Zero Lab, basically. But also because it came out of nowhere. After meeting Briar for the first time in the Teal Mask and knowing that she would definitely play a big role in the whole thing, I started looking for her everywhere in the Blueberry Academy, but she was nowhere to be found. Like she's nowhere to be found now as well, but that's a whole nother story. At that time, she then shows up out of nowhere and in less than an hour she wouldn't be seen again. Her character had everything to be the most intriguing one in the whole game, since she was even wearing clothes with patterns present in both the Scarlet and Violet books. This implied that she either knew both books existed in the same timeline, or she visited both timelines, a lot of implications, but nothing came out of it. She didn't even recognize Koraidon or Miraidon in Kitakami, and she has studied those books probably a million times. It would have been a lot better to have Briar present in the whole Indigo Disc storyline just to make her real. This way, she felt shoehorned into the final part of the game as if they were like, oh right, Briar, we need to put her there, right? I get why she wanted to go into the crater. I also get why Carmine is going. She's doing that because of Briar. She's working with her. I get Kieran being invited. He was the champion before. And I get Drayton being invited as well. He was the former champion before Kieran. And I get us going as we are the champion and have been there before. That's if we forget about Paldea, cause there we have Nemona, who was probably a better choice since she was a champion ranked trainer and wasn't there before, and Gita as well since she is La Primera and seems like she wants to keep everything about that place a secret. Even Clavel was a better choice, a skilled trainer that has knowledge of the place as he also worked in there. There should be a reason for Briar to finally be allowed to go in there, and it shouldn't be her knowledge of Terra Energy because that never allowed her to go in there before, or her wanting to meet Terrapagos, that never allowed her to go in before as well. She needed to have found something, and that's where her ancestor comes into play. The power of Terra Energy is still a bit of a mystery, but there's one thing we're absolutely sure about it. It can connect different points in the timeline or different timelines, and thus connect people that couldn't ever meet. We see that with the Crystal Pool cutscene, and we also know it happened with Heath and the Phantom Memory. Someone had to give him the actual page, a page that would tremendously impact the future of many places and people. Without it, it would have been impossible for Terrapagos to be found in the future, as the technology and the energy would have never been truly explored. And while it is possible that Heath was contacted by the professors through the powers of Terra Energy, I find it a lot more likely that Briar's obsession with proving him right would lead her to be the one that actually found a way to contact him in the future and give him a page of his own book. A page that he wrote, but didn't write at the same time. This should have happened in the same way that the Crystal Pool cutscene happened. We should have been there and witnessed it. You know, it could have happened in Kitakami or somewhere else, but Heath should have given something to Briar, something about Terrapago's location that would eventually lead us into the final part of the game. This would have provided Briar with actual information that would make her the most suitable one to go down Area Zero, with her choosing a team that she trusted from her academy. Also, this would have made possible an interaction with a man whose strange stories and accounts of his experience in the Great Crater of Paldea seem to always find a way to influence everything from the moment we find Koraidon and Miraidon for the first time to the Crystal Pool cutscene with Professor Sada and Professor Turo in Kitakami. He is one of the most mysterious characters in the games, and I think it is a huge missed opportunity that, with his descendant having such an important but rushed role in the game, we didn't meet him in the end. And that is all I have for you today, why Briar's role could have been a lot better had we met Heath as well. But what about you? Would you have liked to meet Heath? Let me know in the comments down below. And now, like the video if you like it, dislike if you don't, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more Pokemon content, and also ring the bell so you know when the next video is out. Also, you can become a channel member or check out my merch in order to further support the channel. I'd be forever thankful for that. You can follow me on social media or check out one of my streams here and on Twitch. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.